downstairs, or you talking about? No.
This library is our school's library.
Okay.
You're not going to find books downstairs. This is all databases, all electronic databases. And what we're going to be looking for, in fact, the entire concept behind looking at the 10K was we wanted to come up with, actually, would you close that? I can hear noises. We wanted to have a guideline to make a decision that would enable us to make an investment. We're going to come to a conclusion. I want to invest in X, a corporation that I believe gives me the potential, at least, to increase my wealth. If I'm not going to increase my wealth, I really don't really want to make an investment. And what's the point? I can maybe say, well, I really don't like wealth very much, so what I'll do is if I get it, I'll give it away. But that's a decision I have to make on my own. But while I'm investing, I'm not investing to give my money away. I'm making my investment because I expect some return. I want something to come back to me. How I use it, that's up to me. What I do with it is up to me. Well, how do I go about making that decision? What information do I need? What do I like? The first thing I'm going to suggest is invest in something that you like. I like railroads. I like pharmaceuticals. I like oil companies. I like banks. I like all kinds of stuff. But what do I invest in? And how do I make a decision to invest in something? And I can make a blanket statement right now. And if I say to each of you, think of a company that you like, every one of you will be able to think of a company that you like. Doesn't have to be, it could be anything. It could be a shoe manufacturer, it could be a gas station, it could be anything. You will be able to think of a company that you like. If you have a company that you like, start with that. What do I like? How do I invest my money? I want to invest my money in something that's going to give me a return, but I also kind of like to invest my money in something I like. I like railroads. I don't know what you like. I was very lucky. I like railroads. It ended up, unbeknownst to me at the time, that there was somebody else out there who liked railroads. His name was Warren Buffett. And while I was buying railroads, so was Warren Buffett. I didn't know it. So what happens? Warren Buffett goes out there and says, well, he doesn't buy railroads like I do. I buy 100 shares, 200 shares, 1,000 shares. He goes out and buys the entire railroad. So what happens? Because Warren Buffett goes out and buys an entire railroad, what happened to the value of every other railroad out there? Stock prices started to climb. I just wanted a return. I had no idea what was going to happen. Well, what would have happened if if it worked out the other way? What if I still like railroads? And what if I went out and bought railroads and then Warren Buffett got out there and sold the railroad that he owns? What do you think would have happened to the prices of railroads? They would have come down. So now I'm kind of in a bind here. I like railroads. I expect railroads to present some kind of return to me, and then the market magically turns against me. Just something like that, things like that happen. Of course they can. So we're going to be making some decisions, and some of those decisions are going to be the right decisions, but they're not going to work out the way we want. How many people play cards? Anybody play cards? 2. Okay, not that many. If you're in a card game, it's a poker game. If you're in the game and a bunch of cards get dealt to you, and you open the hand and you say, wow, I have 2 3s. I've got a pair of 3s. Does that mean you stay in the game?
stay
Or
with Panther.
does that mean you get out of the game?
Yeah.
You get out of the game. So basically, you've made a decision. You put your money in the pot. It's gone. You're not getting it back. But you've made your decision. Was your decision right or wrong? Well, I'm going to say your decision was right, even though the guy who won the pot won it with a pair of twos. He stayed with his pair of twos. You left with your pair of threes. Your decision was the right decision. Because you got to play the odds. And you've got to be a complete fool if you go to make an investment and you don't think you've got at least a 60% chance of winning. I want to earn 30%. That's a very large amount of return. 30% is almost unreasonable. I want a 30% return on this stock. I will invest in it if it's going to give me a 30% return. I come to a conclusion that the stock I'm looking at can generate a 30% return. I make the investment. The stock doesn't make 30%. The stock only makes 17%. Have I made a bad decision? No. I made the wrong decision, because 30% was the wrong number to go in for to begin with. But I didn't go in expecting nothing. And the biggest problem that we have at this level of finance is nobody knows when to get out. And what I'm going to suggest very strongly is that you don't buy anything without a plan to get out of it. You have to have an exit strategy. Yes, ma'am.